we are stoked to be here at the Avalanche LATAM Summit in Argentina. This is beautiful. Parties going on outside. We're happy everybody's here. And we're going to talk a little bit about DFK. Come at me, bro. The major headline this year is DeFi Kingdoms locked in a $3 million grant from another chain. Now, we've been building custom solutions for Metis all year long and have had the first phase of 3 launched just weeks ago. Our message today is, how does this benefit Avalanche and the ecosystem that has been supporting DeFi Kingdoms for years? Well, we're gonna hop into it, but before we do, let's go back in time. 3 years now we've come to the summit. The first year we reported on the first and most beautiful and biggest delivery of gamification in Web3 history. DeFi Kingdoms hitting hard and strong and launching the first ever Avalanche, previously called Subnet and now called L1. Today we're still the largest. We have been pumping out content. We have been pumping transactions and volume and quality of smart contracts like no other. Today, we are reporting back 2 years after that, 2.5, to show what we've done. We have a game, we have gameplay, it's fun, it's integrated in multiple systems to incentivize that gameplay and grow esports in the space. So before we hop in, what is the game? What does it look like? Well, let's click play now and see. Volume. All right, what you just saw in front of you is live. This gameplay, turn-based battle system, pulling in all of the different assets within the ecosystem is live. It's been tested now for the last 1.5 years, and on Avalanche was the first iteration, PvE content where you're battling big bosses to have drops. But now you can play with your players. So as you look at this screenshot in time, I'm gonna break it down for a moment. You got a shot clock. Let's assume SunBear and I are playing against each other. This is my team of 3 heroes over here, and he has his 3. As you look at all my hero information, this is live. It's not like a passive game that just happens as it loads up, but your decisions matter. The opportunity cost of those decisions matter. What we've done before this battle matters. We've summoned heroes, we've leveled them up, we found quested for items to craft potions and come together in this very complicated, deeply strategic, and highly fun game.
And I also want to point out, it's not just a team of 3 dynamic NFT heroes. Like, that is the core piece of the game. But each of these heroes has tokens attached to them. They've got armor, they've got weapons, they've got what we call visages, which are the skins in the game. In fact, once you put together an entire team with all of the pieces, all of the NFTs, all of these tokens, it's 30 plus tokens per team happening right here. So way more complex than you would actually think just taking a look. I also want to point out the background. You've got several what seem like just passive people in the background. We're going to talk about who those guys are first, or in just a minute. These are the bannermen actually observing and engaging in this battle as well. All right, so we are in the Colosseum right here, and you're gonna see a video pop up, and this is actually what's happening while you are setting up a battle for yourself. You're going in, you're selecting your team. Your team already has several NFTs attached to them. Like I said, the weapons and the armor. You actually have potions in the game as well that you utilize. You have a certain weight of potions you can bring into each game. There's 9 different potions you can bring in, like mana potions, health potions, anti-blinding potions, and so forth. And so I put my bout up, I put it out there for the public to see. I have the parameters set, maybe certain levels of heroes, types of heroes, all that kind of stuff. And someone joins me. Here they are, live with me on this format, ready to battle. And I said, there's lots of things that are added to these amazing NFT, these dynamic NFT heroes. it's not just that they're cool looking, it's that they add to the experience. This particular piece of armor, for example, adds physical defense, magical defense. It changes the statistics of your abilities within the game, each individual armor piece that you get. The more rare they are, the harder they are to find, the more they do for you in these battle sequences. And it's not just the armor that affects the game. It's the stats of the individual hero NFT and your chosen abilities as you set up the battle. There's 5 different abilities with 5 options that you can choose as you go into that. There's also traits that are a part of when you summon a new hero, special traits are a part of what their abilities are as they go into battle. So people are out there summoning heroes, trying to find these rare traits that are getting given that extra edge in the battle.
So when we say we're the most on-chain game out there, we really mean it. Not only does one battle include nearly 30 different tokens, but each token, they don't just look pretty. They're not just tokenized. The metadata behind them is so deeply strategic that you will not get bored with this game. If anything, you will have to allocate a significant amount of time to compete at the highest level in the Colosseum.
And unlike other RPGs, because we're on the blockchain, you own every single one of these assets, and they're tradable within the marketplaces within the game. So all of these assets that maybe you're winning along the way, you can go and put up on the marketplace and sell to your fellow players.
Like Vizzies.
Like Vizzies. Okay, so this is one of my favorite parts of the game. Vizzies, the skins in the game. We like Visages Vizzies. So this is a fun way for us to work with partners. It's a fun way for us to work with the game itself, and then just to make your heroes look really cool. So here we've got a bloater suit, one of the most famous ERC20s in the game. It's a little fish that you find while you're foraging. We decided to make a bloater suit so you can go around fighting as a bloater. Or maybe you want to be a chef, right? We've also got a couple here, shout outs to some of our content creators. We've got Yellow Panther suit. He put this up and it really helped people see what DeFi Kingdoms is about, so we put him right in the game. We've got Doug Hype. You may notice the fancy fur coat and glasses there.
Doug Hype.
Doug Hype. And this one actually is a Vizzy that's currently live with one of our partners right now, Hercules. And this is the first Vizzy that actually adjusts to the genetics of the hero. You can see this guy is buffed out. He's a Hercules character, and it brought the skin color with him. So very exciting there.
So what's cool is we're really trying to bring everybody in, not only the hardcore players, but those that are streaming and creating content. If you're a creator out there and you want to work with us, we'll put you right in the game. We'll market together. We'll put you in the castle and highlight you in as many ways as we can. If you're somebody like Karate Combat building something incredible and wants your tokens out to as many as possible, we made a karate gi. It's right in game. And on the end of that mint, they dropped in thousands of dollars worth of their token to those that minted it. We're really trying to push the limits of blockchain and collaboration in the space.
All right, so the influence system. So we've talked about how you can come into the Colosseum and play, build a team and play against each other, but there's other benefits of being in the Colosseum. In the game, you are a commander of your legion of heroes. Maybe you want to send some of your heroes into the Colosseum as bannermen. Basically, you're pledging these heroes to be the audience, the ones watching. And as I increase the number of heroes, the power or the worth of those heroes and pledge them for a longer time, I get more and more influence or influence points. And so there's fun things about this. Influence gives you the opportunity to actually bet on or wager on a bout. It's not betting that is difficult with regulations and all that. It's up only betting. And so I could take some of my influence points, guess who's going to win the bout, and a sponsor who comes in and sponsors that bout, I actually get some of that sponsorship if I guess correctly. It also gives me, because of that pledging or staking of heroes, passive XP, and I earn passive rewards just from the fees that are gained in the game.
So let's say I'm somebody very influential, I'm going to pull a name out of the hat, Coop for Avalanche Gaming. And I say, I want to do an Avalanche Gaming sponsored match. I'm going to challenge SunBear. They hop in there and they drop in $50 of a box. That's up for grabs. Well, all of you, maybe you're not good at playing the game. Maybe you don't have the best heroes, but you do like to pick good players. You can use your influence to go and get a portion of those rewards put up on that match using your influence to win. If you lose, no harm done. You didn't lose anything, but if you win, you get a chunk of the rewards. Oh, and here's a little walkthrough, which we probably don't have time to go through because I forgot to click the button. We're going to the next one. All right, alpha time. So influence is cool. Yeah, there's no downside. You pledge rewards. You get passive rewards from fees. You get to hop in there and choose which one is going to win, get a portion of sponsorships, but there's not as much like skin in the game. We introduced Glory and Honor system to make it just a little bit more interesting. So based on the amount of influence a commander has, they will be awarded glory points. These points will expire over a certain period of time if not used. As I enter a match, I can say, all right, bro, let's make this a glory match. I'm going to put on X amount of my glory points. They're on the line. If I lose, they are lost. Now we're competing. I win. I take his glory points and I move on to my next match. This incentivizes me to play frequently, to benefit if I win, and to lose out if I lose. At the end of the period, we will have leaderboards, and the leaderboards will show the top glorious champions in the Colosseum. We will then reward them on the leaderboard, maybe randomly, maybe top, maybe have a redemption store with unique things. But either way, this allows players to have motivation to play each day. On top of the influence where sponsorships are being bet on, Glory allows you to make it a little more interesting. What is Honor? Honor is the same thing, but for those spectating, not playing, passively watching. There's so much in this system for those that are playing, but even more so for streamers, content creators, or hardcore betting gambler degens that just want to see who wins and who loses. The next part of the build is tournaments. This is going to be a bracket style tournament that is fully on chain, so that we will have our own tournament essentially where maybe one time we'll say, let's make it interesting. We'll make it all priest or all level 1 heroes, or maybe gatekeep it with a certain visage. We'll have incredible rewards as people battle to the top, and others are spectating and speculating with their influence and glory and honor. The third party hostable tournaments will be the last part of our build this year. This means, again, if I use my example, I'm Coop, I'm Avalanche Gaming, I'm like, I'm gonna go and advertise to those DFK degens. Well, we got this new game onboarding. Let's airdrop some of their tokens by making it the reward for a third-party hostable tournament. You pick your parameters, people join, they enter the bracket, the winners get the rewards, the spectators get a chunk of the rewards, everybody wins, and now we're scaling competitive gameplay where people make content, they commentate, and grow it. All right, so back to the initial entry. When I introed, I said, why does this benefit Avalanche? Well, gameplay is the hook. We need to make it fun. That's what we've struggled with as a space for a while. We now have a fun, deeply strategic game, and now we have competitive gameplay to attract people with rewards and tournaments. As people are attracted with gameplay, the demand for all the underlying assets goes up. The heroes, the potions, the quested items, the vizies or cosmetics, the equipment. As the demand goes up, the OG hardcore players that want to play to earn have an opportunity to fill that demand. Where does the minting happen? On Avalanche. Avalanche is housing the entire ecosystem of heroes coming in, the weapons coming in, the source of the potions. As they are minted, they are bridged to the other chains, and now supporting ongoing gameplay, where we have gameplay, increasing demand of assets. Play to earners, mint them, you bridge them over. It is a loop that is going to support incredible numbers. Look at the numbers we've done without real gameplay. This is record holding 754 million transactions on Avalanche's first and still largest layer 1. That's 800 billion daily gas units. It's mind-blowing. These aren't just number of transactions, but we're maxing out the technology in this build. With all that we've accomplished so far, as we build this step by step, regardless of what happens in the world and the FUD and everything else, we are moving the blockchain needle like nobody else. We're moving bridging. So Colosseum is on another chain. It's our hook to bring people in to compete and play. But as that progresses, as that is successful, so is everything else we touch, namely and primarily Crystalvale on the beautiful map located DFK chain, Avalanche's first L1.
This is just the beginning. This is the time for gameplay. The gamers are going to come in, they're going to pull on these assets, and everybody who wants to benefit from them is going to be farming those assets and getting them to the Colosseum to be purchased in all of the marketplaces there. So 2 things. 1, join our Discord. If you are interested in playing PvP on DFK Colosseum, come to the Discord. Say, hey, I'm new. Help me out. Help me get started. 2, tomorrow night, Spike and Wayfinders. We have an event at 7 o'clock where you can come, you can meet us. We're going to onboard you, and we're giving up to $5,000 in hero teams.
$5,000.
$5,000. So come to the Wayfinders event, get onboarded, come play with us, learn how this works, and for these reasons and for everything we've already said, we are extremely bullish!
Thank you, everybody.